Hi guys, so this week closed the month of September and I was so excited at the start of the week because I closed the month green and I'm trading with a small $300 account while I learned to day trade, and my account's closed at the highest it's been so far, which is about $412, $13, something like that. So the week rolled into October and then I took a trade which I took multiple times. I overtraded it and I lost a lot more than I was willing to lose, so kind of disappointed in myself, but also a really good learning curve on what I did and how I can avoid doing that next time, which is what this whole learning process is about. So going to go into the trade that I took, and it was for a 3rd-day surge setup. So let's go to the chart. So the ticker was PSTV, and this is the daily chart over here, and can see it's gapped up on high volume and it's had a multi-day run, so it's continued to climb for 3 days straight and done really good volume on each day, which was key. So I'm looking at this as a potential 3rd-day surge setup. So it's had I'm sort of classing all of this as day one, and then a nice little pullback, and then tried to play it for a bounce on this day here, or a surge, I guess. And yeah, this is just not a nice one to review because I traded it so badly, but I think it's actually good for me to look at it, and it's actually kind of therapeutic in a way. So let's go to the intraday chart on the 1 minute time frame. So you can see it's had, that run up across 3 days, and then let me go to the 5 minute, might be a little bit clearer. There's a lot of lines on here. So nice pullback on its first red day. So it's climbed for 3 days. On day 4, it's had a pullback, and the pullback isn't too severe that it can't sort of surge on that 3rd day, which is what I'm looking for, and that drop off in volume, which it had. So I'm looking at it on this day, and I'm seeing that on day 2 it's basing here, and then it does have, it's not very clear cut on this one, but there is resistance here. So it is an area of interest. Normally I like it to be a bit more significant, to cross-reference it from this area to this area, but it is still an area of resistance there, which is now seems to be acting as support. So I'm going to go into the day that I traded it. Let's go on to the 1 minute. So this is pre-market, and it seems to be holding yesterday's low of day, which is nice. And I took an entry somewhere around here. So I got in at 0.6375. Decent entry. Somewhere around there. I'm basically missing off yesterday's low of day. And then can see it had a nice little climb after I bought it, so that was kind of nice. And then it pulled back and broke my risk, so I had to cut the trade. And then I saw it reclaim and I re-entered. I can't remember all the entries and took, because I traded it that many times. But I think I bought it a bit higher, somewhere in the 64s. And then you can see again, it broke my risk. So I had to cut again. And you can see it's just sort of chopping around that area. So I can't even remember if I took it again. I might have done and then cut, I'm not sure. And then had a had a hard crack, which I say nice because I've been seeing a lot of them do that recently. So that's a sign to me when it has that hard crack, it's going to try and reclaim yesterday's low of day and then bounce. So kind of did this double bottom here. And when it did this hard crack, I thought I wanted to get in at the lowest point because I still felt like this was going to have a really nice bounce. So I got in somewhere around the top end of this area, and it was a really high risk because I was risking off the low of this candle. and it was too much of a risk percentage-wise. I shouldn't have taken it. And I had actually also been sizing in for some of these trades. I think I was putting about $120 on them, which is larger size for me. And I think as the more I traded it, the more I downsized. But still, the risk here was, I was a bit of a chase there. I got a bit of FOMO. And then it broke that risk again. Had to cut. And yeah, the trade just started to really overpower me. I wasn't in control. The trade was in control of me. So market opened, and I think ordinarily out the gate, if I'd have seen this action here, I would have taken maybe an entry and maybe risked off here. But again, that is a wide risk, but if I hadn't traded it so much, it would have been all right. But because I had traded it so much, because I had got stopped out so much, I thought the only way I can play this now, if it tries to break red green, I think was my thesis on that, which was, I think my lines might have moved now because I've traded it since then. So where was red green? Let me just double check that. Yeah, so where it goes above yesterday's close. I think I tried to trade it somewhere. You know what, I can't even remember now. Somewhere up here, and I can't remember exactly what my thesis was on this. I think it was trying to reclaim some area, either red green or I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, I had to cut again. So I think I traded it about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It's kind of embarrassing. And lost, it's going to sound silly, but I'm on small size, $18, which is a big loss day for me. My losses normally are a couple of dollars in a day, maybe. $3, $4 would be fine. Happy to take slightly more for a good setup, but not $18, which is relative to the size I'm putting on. So it's a large loss in relation to the trades that I was putting on. So I know in the grand scheme of things, $18 loss is absolutely nothing, but I'm trying to take this seriously as what this would be like if I was to put $2,000 on a trade. This would not be a good trade at all for me. So that's kind of a summary of the trade. It's a bit messy. Again, I can't remember exactly what I did here, so apologies if it's a bit scatty. It's just traded it that many times. I can't be bothered to go through all my entries and exits at this point, but just know that it was not a good trade for me. So yeah, PSTV, third day surge set up, and can see actually if we go on to the next days, tried to continue its bounce but didn't really, and then went on to try and climb. So I suspect this might try and keep climbing a bit. I was expecting this to go to around 78 at least, which is this level here. If I go to the 5-minute one, I was expecting it to go at least up to here. So maybe it's going to try and get there over multiple days, but I'm not in it for that kind of setup. So yeah, bit of a deflating one, but something I need to look at and address why I traded it so badly. So key takeaways from this trade is looking at my overtrading. So how much am I actually willing to lose on this trade? How many times am I willing to enter it? And also when I am entering it, where's my risk? Is my risk too large? If it is, I shouldn't be taking it, which obviously I did that this time. The second thing is learning to adapt in the moment, because trades aren't always going to act exactly how I think they're going to act. So I need to be able to think in the moment, but in a composed way, and not sort of let FOMO get the better of me and end up doing stupid things. So it's a really good learning trade for me, and hopefully I can get better and try and avoid doing things like that in the future. The setup was good, but the way I traded it wasn't. So that's where I'm at with it at the moment, and thanks for watching. Catch you next week.